Okay, today's daf is Yoma Lamed Hey, Yoma 35. Interesting, I got it today. The Gemara says on Lamed Hamid Beis, Tan Rabbanan, about 10 lines from the top. Ani Ashi Rasha, Bayin Ladin. Poor person, a rich man, and a Rasha come Ladin. Ani Amrum Lo Mibnei Lo Asachta B'Torah. The poor person, they ask him, why didn't you learn Torah? Why are you an osek b'Torah? He says, I was very poor. I couldn't be osek b'Torah. I had to get a parnasa in order to make a living, make ends meet. And he said, were you as poor as Hillel? Hillel, and the Gemara says, Amrullah of Hillel. They have a ma'aser with Hillel. The story with Hillel was that he had very little money. Most of the time, he would split his money between food and the schar to go into to learn in the base medrash. It was one Friday night. He really wanted. He didn't have any money. He couldn't come into the base medrash, so he went on the roof and he heard the words through the window, the skylight, and it snowed on him, and he almost died. And they had to heat up a fire on Shabbos and Machal Shabbos for him. They said it's fitting to Machal Shabbos for you for what you did. Now the obvious question is that Farshim say, are you allowed to put yourself in a situation like this, risk your life to learn Torah? Pasha says that you don't give up your life to learn Torah. You don't risk your life to learn Torah. He brought Chol Shabbos also. He's supposed to be by your family. He was married. Where was he by his? The Gemara in Ksuba says you have to eat with your wife on Friday night. So what happened with that? The Gemara says it brings a story. Elazar ben Charsom, he was mechayev. He was very rich. The Gemara brings a story that every day he would go. He would take a flask of full of kemach, which is used to make bread, and he would go from city to city to learn Torah. So the question is, he would take kemach. He didn't take bread. It says he took kemach, took flour with him. Also, and the Gemara says that they interfered with him. People didn't realize it, and they thought it was someone else, and then they let him go. Why was he going? Go in your house, go to your base medrash next to you, learn Torah there. Why was he going? And also, why was he carrying kemach with him? Kemach, you have to make it into bread. It would take time. It seems like a lot of anava to do for a very rich person. Why was he doing this? And the Gemara, the third case, the Gemara says that Yosef was mechayev the Rishayim. Since he says he's mechayev the Rishayim, we know it's called Yosef at Tzaddik. He was mechayev the Rishayim because of the ma'aser of Potiphar. Isha's Potiphar, he wouldn't be seduced by her. Now he was called Yosef Asadik. He's Mechayev the Rishoyim. It's interesting that it seems to say that Yosef at one point was called a Rasha. It should have said Yosef. The Gemara says Imamar Noah Yisi Tarbi Yitzrei Amrulo Noah Yisam Yosef. It should instead of saying Mechayev the Rishoyim, which said Mechayev people who are Noah, people who look good. Because women will be more attracted to them, and they'll give them a harder time. What does it say that in Mechayev the Rishoyim? I want to suggest over here that we say in the morning two brachas. There's the bracha of Lasok B'divrei Torah, and then the Asher Bracha Ba, and the second bracha Asher Bracha Ba Kol Miminasan Nasar So Bracha Hashem and Nosein Torah. That there's two aspects of Torah. One aspect in Torah is Asek Torah. Asek Torah is to deal with Torah, to grapple with Torah. It doesn't mean you should be learning Torah all the time. It means that in life we have to make decisions all the time. That's what basically a person is. The test of a man is how he made his decisions in life. How he had to make decisions. Did he make the right decisions? Did he make decisions? That's the ultimate test of a person in his life. You have to have that's Asik B'divrei Torah, Cheshbon Nefesh, or to at least to be aware of these things, to make good decisions. That's Asik B'Torah. And we see from these cases that these people, Hillel and Elazar ben Charsom and 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 Yosef, the Gemara says about Yosef that he struggled with Ashes Potiphar. He was about to give in to her, and the Shilch Zera came out of his fingers. He struggled with it. He was struggling. He was grappling. Ezra Charstone, he was grappling. He thought he had to go from Medina year to year to go learn Torah in a better place, a better yeshiva, I don't know, and he had to look like a big onav, that he was carrying flour with him. He wouldn't even take regular bread with him. Hillel risked his life to learn Torah. He didn't really have to do that, but he was grappling. These people were grappling with Torah. They were osik b'divrei Torah. Now, the truth is that it doesn't say that they made the right decisions. Like I was proving before, that maybe it wasn't the right thing, that maybe an ani is supposed to spend most of his time with parnasa, and an ashir is supposed to spend most of his time with nechasim, to deal with his wealth and to give tzedakah. And a person who is nah, who looks good, he should use his looks to better his situation in life and get a nicer wife, or to look good, to make himself feel good. These are not bad things. These are situations in life, and you deal with them. And that's what it says. These people were mechayev because they showed that you have to have an asik with Torah. They were all osik with Torah. They were grappling with it. They all made. There's two parts when you're asik with Torah. One is you have to make decisions, and two is you have to make the right decisions. And the Yitzhar is very tricky. And first of all, the first thing it tries to do is that you shouldn't make decisions. But even if you make decisions, it forces you a lot of times to make the wrong decisions. And Gemara is telling you the truth over here, that these people, we can learn a good thing from them, even though they were wrong. And so the Gemara is saying, Ani v'ashir v'rasha, these are people, Ani v'ashir v'rasha, are people, not people that did the wrong thing, they did the right thing. And he said, the Ani, he says, Ani that's what he should have done. He should have been engaged in parnasa. It's not a bad thing to work. Working is a great thing. If you have no money, you have to go work. It says all over the Gemara that Gadol Anem Yigiyas Kavav Yosem Yira Shemayim. You should be working. It's not a bad thing. But it doesn't excuse you of Asek Torah, of making decisions and grappling with it. And that's what the Gemara is saying over here, that if you're a person who's a poor person and you just was focused on parnasa and you didn't grapple with maybe adding other things in your life and making decisions and maybe adding a little limud Torah into your life or other right things, and that's a Ashir. He's just Torah b'nechasim. He's just Torah. He did the right thing. He made the right decisions, but he wasn't making decisions. He stopped making decisions. That's what it was. He stopped making decisions. So the bracha osek with the Torah is that he's grappling with decisions, and nosen Torah is he makes the right decisions. These people, Ani Ashir and Russia also. Who says he's supposed to be a tzaddik? I'll tell you tzaddik harbe. You're not supposed to be such a big tzaddik. Sometimes you have to act like the regular way of the world and engage in looking good and being into women. There's nothing wrong with being into women as long as you follow the halakhas. But you have to make decisions. You have to be osik with divrei Torah. And if you're not osik with divrei Torah, you're just no saying Torah. You just made in your life a clear decision. You're no saying Torah. You did that first. I made a clear decision. I know which way my life should be going, and I'll act like the regular way of the world. But you give up the grappling with divrei Torah. So that's what the Gemara is saying. That's a fault also.